There's a shortfall in bikes. Yes, that's what we're going to be talking about this week on Mark and Pete Live. So I've got business from Mark here with me. I'm Pete the clergyman. So tell me, Mark, what's it all about then? What's this shortfall all about?
Well, businesses are always keen on being able to manufacture things quickly to meet demand. But unfortunately, I noticed that in the news, Halfords, the large retailer who actually sells bicycles, have announced that unfortunately the demand is outweighing supply. What a disaster! I think
Hmm.
this is all in the initiative of trying to get back to fitness now that COVID is something that we're beginning to manage, and we're all getting out and about, wanting to be a
Hmm.
little bit fitter. Well, that's all very well, but
Yeah,
unfortunately, there are just not enough bicycles.
yeah. So people who are watching in the video version will see that I was putting up an article. This is from BBC News about Halfords, the bike supplier. They're saying, let me just read it from here. Halfords has warned it faces acute challenges with bike supplies after COVID restrictions led to surging demands and lockdowns in Asia hit manufacturers. It says the sales of bikes rose by 54.1% in the year to 2nd of April as the pandemic limited local travel and overseas holidays. Halford said pent up demand for bikes and continuing restrictions on foreign trips would support future sales. Pent up demand. It's that serious. While people are pent up about it, they just can't hold it in anymore.
No, they're a bit sore in the saddle, shall
Yeah.
we say?
They say it's supply challenges for cycling products remains acute. So they're just trying to, I guess, ship in the cycles and get more made, as well as it says there's a strong demand for conventional bikes. Halford said it has seen a 94% rise in demand for e-bikes, e-scooters, and accessories during its financial year to the 2nd of April. Now, bikes make you fit, don't they? I'm not so sure about e-bikes. Do they make you fit?
Well, I think there's also another trend here that we want to highlight because obviously the physical bike, the two wheelers that we
Oh
often
yeah.
see when we grow up as children, we all
Yeah.
going out and about playing in the playground and also getting out and
Mm.
about with our little friends. But the thing is that this idea that you can actually cycle indoors now, without
Yes.
mentioning brands, but the idea is essentially you log on and there is a component on the front of the bike where you can get fit and actually you are up against a trainer and also against other people around the world.
Well,
So
we're
effectively,
not
you're
mentioning
competing.
brands.
Or we're not
Uh,
mentioning brands. We're just
well,
saying
we're not mentioning brands, but there may be one shown on the screen now. I can't do anything about that.
we're not going to
There
mention
is one. There
Peloton.
is one.
We
That's a
won't
bit.
mention.
No. This is a report from Medical News Today. We're not going to read that report out, but just to say, it just shows an example of this for people who didn't
Indeed.
know. An example of a range of home exercise machines and equipment,
Yes.
including bikes. There you go. Yes. So, yeah, that's a trend as
Well,
well.
I think this is an interesting trend because the concept here is if you were worried about going out and about because either you just didn't like going out in the rain, or maybe you were just worried about social distancing issues, well, actually, you can actually cycle in your own living room or wherever you choose. So essentially, you're not really going anywhere, but you're using all that pent up frustration and energy in your own home and you're actually cycling. So you can actually have different settings. You can make it quite sort of a leisurely pace, or you could. The whole point of a certain brand is to try and compete, and actually, you are really competing with your own time, but you're also competing with other people's times. So there is something there, but it is more of a sort of a virtual set of community cyclers. I'm not entirely sure I like the idea. Surely the idea of a bicycle is to get out and about, get
Well,
the wind up
yes.
your nose, the flies in your hair, and those sort of things.
Yes, I think that what we're seeing is sort of a fashion trend. I mean, during the
Yes,
lockdowns, certainly I noticed people getting very keen on doing fitness routines, and there's a lot of talk of people doing it. My own children joined in this daily show it became of a man leading you in various exercises, jigging up and down and throwing your body about. But it after a few weeks of it, it got so tiring that the guy who was actually leading them, he got fed up of it as well. Started doing something else. So, I mean, do you think then, Mark, that this run on bikes, if you like, these bike sales are going to fall off. Not fall off the bike, but the sales are going to fall off
Well,
soon
I think not.
as
I can
people
see
get fed
the
up.
idea of the growth. Now, interestingly, here, and that article that you were referring to says that
Yes.
the Bicycle Association said that most bicycles in the world are manufactured in East Asia, and
Mhm.
even those which are assembled in the EU are often require components shipped from that region. Now, this extended supply chain does mean that even in normal circumstances, delivery times are long. Now, the reason I highlight this is that if we're reliant on components and parts from other parts of the world, especially Asia, that's a long way for the supply chain to get to either America or even Europe. And I do worry that people, perhaps this fad that we're thinking about, sets expectations. But to your point, how many people are really going to keep this going week in, week out, in their
Mhm.
own living rooms, scattering, spraying sweat all over everybody?
Yes, yeah, yes, it can get to be just a fad. I mean, this is the advantage I would say of the actual bike, because an actual bike can get you somewhere. You know, if you
Yes.
replace your car or your trip on the train or even a bit of a slog of a walk with riding a bike, you're actually getting somewhere. It becomes part of your daily routine. It's like you're getting a free workout because you don't have to go somewhere special to do it. It's not something extra you're doing. You've got to go to work anyway. So get on your bike. That's if you're not, of course, working from home. And
Mm.
that may be where the home bicycle comes in, because I know that some of them, some of these well known brand name bikes, which have a screen that you do the workout on the bike from, they include ones that have a desk attached to them.
Ah.
So you can actually
Yeah.
cycle, what maybe cycling while you're on your latest Zoom call, or of course, so other video
Other video
conferencing apps
platforms.
are available. But surely incorporating your exercise into part of your normal daily routine does help. But I'd be interested to see if going forward the bike sales do hold up, because there's been a lot of work put into
Yeah.
encouraging people to ride bikes. Our own esteemed Prime Minister put into place the Boris Bike Scheme in London
Oh, yes.
while he was mayor there, in order to encourage people to cycle, and he himself was well into it, cycling around. So I think
Well,
we can see that, yeah, it made great efforts, and certainly they were reasonably popular. But it took a pandemic to get people to really get on the bike and for the
yes.
sales to go up.
Well, I had another thought as well here is that imagine this. Imagine that everybody were on those E type of bikes in their own home.
Yeah.
They're like little hamsters, all busily working away, generating energy. Why can't we plug that back into the
Yeah,
into the
fair enough.
national
Yes.
grid and actually have some useful energy come back out the other end, rather than
Yes.
expend all this energy looking sweaty in your business suit or in your clergyman's outfit,
Yes.
which obviously is not a good look. And I do
Well,
note that even on the adverts, people perhaps don't always look that healthy at the end of it. I don't know why. I just maybe it's my interpretation that
it just
this
goes to show actually exercise is bad for you.
exactly.
Stop it, everyone.
Well, actually, it also brought this thought that if you were to do it day in, day out, would we really get that fit? It also suggests that if we were to go and do this for decades on end and we become a generation of cyclers, it conjures this thought in my mind. I can only but express it in the finest way possible, which is the traditional poem, which is life cycle. Life can be like frantically riding a bike. You pedal hard with goodwill, but as you reach the peak of the hike, the ride is just all downhill.
Yes, well, it does feel like that when you've been riding a bike a long way. Well, that's about all of it, all from us for this week on Market Beat. Make sure to like and subscribe, share this video with people, and put your comments below. What exactly do you think is going to happen with this cycling boom? And are you a cyclist? Do you actually get out there, maybe in your lycra, and put in some miles on the bicycle, or you want to say, well, that exercise thing, that's for the birds. Well, let us know. We'll be back next week with more fascinating conversation. Bye for now.